I've always collaged on workbooks and collected patches for DIY. I've wanted to be a fashion designer, a performer, an author, a CEO and founder, abundant, graceful and secure. Now I get to try my hand at all those things, but the keyword there is try. I filmed the majority of this video coming next on a day where I felt the opposite of all those things. Definitely not abundant, definitely not grateful, and couldn't be further from secure. But I kind of get into that. That's the point, almost. I'm dramatic, a little bit stupid, with too much time on my hands. But I'm also very passionate, experienced, and more bothered about my goals than I am with being insecure anymore. And I've got a spring collection of cool art that I want to show off. And I'm really proud about it. It took a lot of work. And it was nice to just think in a way that wasn't how good it was going to be, how much someone would want to see it, and more just trying out cool ideas and ending up making something that I'm proud of. That's the whole point. I'm proud. So I got really excited making the new piece. I hope you enjoy it. And I hope this video also stands as an example, if just to future me, that, you know, we can do hard things, and even though you feel like doing the opposite of recording a video and making some art, obviously it's like that conversation that you want to put off. You know you'll feel better after it, and you know that's why you keep doing it, but it's just the starting. Maybe it doesn't need to be as scary as it feels in my head, but I don't know. I hope this stands as an example that you can do that and it's fine, even if it's just for me. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. The art show, why it was good for me, why I was really looking forward to it, what challenges it brought up, because it did. It was the kind of mindset I had to get into to then speak and not completely hate myself. And something that was a useful reminder is that a lot of artists feel like that, and a lot of people feel like that. Great, but I was still feeling like that. What do I do about it? Yes, it's good to go, you know, everyone feels like that. You're not alone, that's important. But I also want to touch on community. Okay, so all the little things I've made for the Etsy shop, all of these are glazed. I'm going to glue magnets onto the back of them. So this comes at a time when, like, I've decided that I want to actively post, market, sell artistic productions. And by that, I'm talking about little clay things that I make in my spare time. I've been making friends' ashtrays for birthday presents for years. It's something I enjoy doing. I think it's this art to do with production of an item, and then you kind of start leaning more Warhol philosophy when you talk about leaning into capitalism, and you've got the Campbell soup cans and things like that. It's always been a dream of mine to make money from making art, in any kind of form. So now I made my Etsy shop. I've made my first sale, which was to a friend from uni, and I hadn't spoken to her for God knows how long. This links to something that was related to the exhibition, but there's so many people that are supporting me. It's not a case of not being there or not being available or visible. It's how do I reach out to receive that support? How do I reach out to communicate that something is important to me? And the confidence to then be vulnerable. Coming back to the art show, this was something I stumbled upon on Instagram. I think it was either an ad or I was looking through I think I'd searched like Artist Glasgow or something like that. And through a few people I'd followed, I saw that there was an exhibition happening and that they were looking for submissions. And the theme was accelerating change. And because it's for International Women's Day, I took that as a prompt and went, how do I accelerate change? And those people that know me in real life from here know that I am a bit of a witch. And by that I mean some kind of mystical, non-denominational, Gnostic and esoteric freak and reader. So I have several kind of... Oh, the cat's running somewhere. Oh, are you going to cause issues now? Is that what you're doing? I have things like altars around my room. And by that, I mean places where I put things that would elicit memories or things that are sentimental or, in air quotes, magic to me. So things like, I have one for my family. Other people call it an ancestor's altar. And that's something that I put gifts that people have given me and things that remind me I am part of a whole thing. So that's an example of the kind of thing I have, but I'm not going to go into all of them. And that's the way that I accelerate change, is by pausing, gathering in this space with this point of attention. And that's where it is safe to address all of the things that need change, all of the emotions that are saying, don't like this, do something different. That is my container for it. Whether that is, you can analyse that as much as you want, but that's why I chosen to make an altar, make it a little bit religious. And by altar, what I then made was a clay form wall hanging, like a shelf. I'm going to put the pictures in and things like that. But I then looked at what things I thought could do with change. Obviously, politics, world, whatever. And things like protest signs matched really well with the aesthetic I'm working with at the moment, which is kind of rough around the edges, punk, cardboard, graffiti, images of like New York subway, and never been to New York, but that images of something that isn't polished but is still art, is still beautiful. And protest signs work really well with that. So I was looking at protest signs that struck me as the most intense to kind of convey that acceleration. And I took some pictures of them and printed them, put them on the just kind of clay form, wait for them to dry, glazed over it, did a little wash, glazed again, and what came out was this really gorgeous altar, neon yellow. I'd chosen it because I love working with neon at the moment anyway, but it was like something that is slightly sickly but also attention grabbing. And I also used the quote by Audre Lorde, which kind of reflects the pausing and the gathering yourself as a way to accelerate change. That idea of self-care, that self-care is not self-indulgent, it's self-preservation, and that itself is a political act. And I couldn't agree more. The most change that I've brought into my life is by looking after myself and attending myself and giving time to myself over anything or anyone else. And that's something that's important to remember as we go into this exhibition. Well, that was a piece. I submitted it, then I went on holiday, partially forgot about it, to be honest, because I wanted to detach myself from the outcome of it because I'd enjoyed the process so much. Returned to work from holiday to just a bit of a chaotic time. Obviously, just after you come back from holiday, it's never easy because you're like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here at all. Don't think I'm unique or special in that fact. Then on the Saturday afternoon, I'd got into work and an email had come up saying, I just wanted to see if you'd seen the other email. So I clicked on it, went through, and it was like, oh no, you've got in. Congratulations, great, lovely, here's how we go forward. So completely not taken by shock, more just because I'd detached from the outcome. I opened the email at work and then went, oh my God, what do I do? Oh my God, I've got to get all this in shape now, which is really exciting. I was more excited than I was stressed, scared, whatever, and immediately got to planning. The way I wanted to display it, or I wasn't sure how to display a 3D piece in the venue, and I'd asked for a little bit of advice, and I'd even done it at the second place where I work, and someone else or somebody who works there had come in, and just as an off chance they said, oh, what are you doing? Because I was doodling and not doing work. And I'd said, oh, well, I'm just trying to plan how I'm going to display my piece of artwork for this exhibition. And they gave me a solution. Just by opening my mouth, asking for help, it always scares me to bring that up in a conversation because I'm like, will people go, yeah, duh? Or is it like oh, good reminder? But by just bringing it up in conversation, by actually talking to someone about it rather than just brushing it off, going, oh, I'm not doing anything, sorry, and then, you know, shutting down the conversation, which, to be fair, I really wanted to do because I was absolutely shattered and I'd had the week from hell. So just by being a big girl and having the conversation, within seconds, I had a solution to how I was going to exhibit this thing. And it also felt good to talk about art with artists, to go, oh, I like how these people relate to me when I talk about art, because they went, oh, that's cool, I didn't know you did that. Yeah, I'd love to hear more about it. And it was that natural. So with that attitude, hello, what are you doing down there? Cat. With this attitude, I sorted out prints, business cards, made some magnets to sell as well from polymer clay. And the magnets I made were little protest signs, which I thought was really cute. Using the Audre Lorde quote, but also some saying like teach peace and love hearts and things like that. As much as I'd kind of made quite a few, it's my first art market pop-up shop, not expecting very much to come of it, and was trying to detach from the outcome again, which had worked for me last time. But this insecurity started creeping in. I'd felt so cool and so uplifted by it, and then the stress started creeping in. And it's the same thing I do with everything. I forget it's cool and exciting, and instead I'm just worried about how complicated it is. And complications happen, as they will. And it completely threw me. I tried so hard to get to the finish line without these doubts creeping in, without the old ways of thinking that I'd worked so hard to process. And I kind of just went on autopilot. I overthought so much that I left it too late to walk to the venue. So I got an Uber. Called myself an Uber, went, sorry sis, you're going to have to take the financial hit. It's on you. Got to the venue. Knew I was going to be on my own for a little bit, which terrified me. I didn't have a safety blanket. I didn't have the safety net. But that's kind of what you have to do. First thing about the exhibition was networking. It is just networking. It's networking for artists. And it's going to feel the same way. Like, some networking conversations you go, okay, do you love your jobs? A lot, clearly. Great, because with artists, that interests me. Because you know who else cares about it? Me, because I'm there in the first place. So it took me a while to kind of get over myself in that sense. But once I'd settled, I was talking to a few of the spoken word performers. I'd had a look around, found my artwork, taken a few pictures of it, sent it to my parents. Done a, look at me, be proud of me, validate me. I just had to bite the bullet. Network, chat, get used to the prospect of potentially being there on my own. I wasn't drinking too much, so an old way of dealing with it would have gone, hey, right, where are the biggest drinkers? I can work with them. But we don't, that's not the MO anymore. So I just had to talk. I had to fight every time there was a thought that when you're being really annoying, why the fuck would they want to speak to you? Or you're annoying them, let them speak to their friends. And by that, I mean a difference between social awareness and an intrusive thought. But the intuition and the intrusive thought is then called into question by, what evidence do I have for this? And that was one of the best things I learned in therapy. What evidence do I have for this thought? Like, I would consider, when I'm taking opinions or advice from anyone, I would want to know their credentials. Why are they qualified to give me advice? And if there's no reason, no evidence to that thought, that I was being annoying, that they just want to speak to their friends, I continued talking. And it was so uncomfortable. It was so uncomfortable. And I haven't felt that uncomfortable and that small in a big place for so long. And that is what threw me, I think. I'm pretty much... The role I play kind of day to day is more high power, high responsibility. It's not one where I feel particularly unempowered, disempowered. So to feel like that was absolutely terrifying. I hated it. But it also reminded me of all the ways I felt before I'd started my little before I'd started working on myself, in air quotes, or working with myself. And I think that's what threw me even more. It was very much, no, you're all on your own in this. Of course it was going to end up like this. Oh, just give me a there. Ah, that's something I've fucking learned. If you're working with magnets, the heat conducts and makes it fucking fix together so quick. Super glue all over my hands. Great. God, this is difficult. It saddens me to see how much resistance I have coming up for just talking, expressing myself, and potentially someone hearing it. It's really sad. It's up. Hey. So, working with intrusive thoughts, everything went fine. Friend arrived. We had a couple of drinks, got some cute pictures, talked. I then went to do my business, covered the pop-up shop. Then when the event finished, I went home. And that was it. I felt mad at myself for even entertaining the intrusive thoughts and the frustrations that had stopped me from feeling so grateful at the event. And that took the sting out of it a little bit. Sorry, no, that took the shine off it a little bit, which was what frustrated me the most. Like, I have done all the work for this thing, and now the past or the forms that I've tried so hard to get away from are back to ruin it. That is possibly the biggest, I was going to say biggest fear, but biggest insecurity, certainly, at this point. That, you know, all the things you've worked for are going to be taken away soon. And being the new girl in a group where people vaguely know each other, it was presumed, was terrifying. All these people that I look up to who are carrying something out that I'm really interested in, who are working on and working in an industry that, you know, I want to ask them questions. I want to go, how did you do it? But it was scary. It was very new girl, bully trigger, you know, not comfortable stuff. But then when I kind of got over myself a little bit, and once I'd warmed up a little bit and spoken to them, you know, everyone's lovely. You know, people were in the same position I was last year at the same event. And they all go, I'm so glad I did it because I'm back now. See you next year, bestie. And I went, yes. See you next year. Thank you. I don't know whether that is a shared experience, whether anyone else has felt that the experience has not been ruined but been tainted by insecurity. But I was kind of mad about it. In hindsight, did some great stuff. You know, I've got my first Etsy sale, did my first artsy thing, sold some things at the pop-up shop. So, you know, for all intents and purposes, it's going the way it should, needs to. Networked, spoke to people, saw cool things, was inspired, made cool things. I'm not hearing any negatives there. But in the moment, that freeze was really evident. Which, obviously, is uncomfortable, not pleasant. So something I'm now working on is working with that freeze, overwhelm, that insecurity. I'm not very good at feeling secure and maintaining things with security because that is not something that is familiar to me. Whether that's from, well, I mean, I can tell you 100 reasons why that is, 100 experiences why that would be the case. But what is important now is what I'm going to do about it. Because I have fought really hard to get where I am right now and to provide for myself the things that I have provided. I have, over the years, sacrificed so much to get where I am. There's a Sweetie song, the way I'm referencing Sweetie, like it's a Bible reference or something. I think it's my best, where it's, yeah, got off the phone with my, I love how I started like, yeah. Just got off the phone with my pops. He said then, fuck all the ops. They tripping on you. They want what you got. Cost you a lot. Or what did it cost? It cost me a lot. It cost me some friends. It cost me some M's. Like, where does it stop? I sacrificed everything, something, and then look at what we got. I do it again and again and again, and I'm taking my shot. Swish, bitch. That's how it feels. So much has been sacrificed to get to this point. And now is the season of not wasting it. Now is the season of, okay, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do with it? And what I'm going to do with it is create art and keep doing what makes me happy, which is making pieces of art, making some sort of income from it to make my life more comfortable, to provide more security for myself. Because at the end of the day, that's all I'm doing it for. I am looking after myself because that is all I'm meant to do. That is the one job I have on this planet. Period. Everything else comes after that. Period. And this is coming from someone who works... Oh, God, how do I not dox myself? This is the kind of thing. I'm a yap girly. I don't know when to... Which is crazy because people are so confused by me. Go figure. Things like charity are things that I engage with really frequently. I'm someone who takes a lot of joy in providing for others, making sure people are okay. My politics reflect how much I care about people. And my actions now reflect how much I care about people. Might not have always done. Might not have done yesterday. Might not have done an hour ago. But that was the experience. And that is what it's brought up. And those are the next steps that it's highlighted for me. To keep doing what I'm doing, to maintain it and find some sort of security within it. To not quit the day job, because clearly the day job is paying the mortgage. Don't quit. Just because you go, oh, I want to be an artist in a random country that I can't currently pronounce, doesn't mean, we need to drop everything and go there now. Which I don't like. Which does not sit well with me. What do you mean I can't go and do that now? No. Reparenting. That is me talking back to my inner parent as my inner teenager, which is hilarious. You're very cute. Oh, you little boy. Oh, I can't wait to gentle parent. This is going to be wild. I know I've taken some video of sculpting the skull that's gone with this. And I also want to kind of introduce what kind of things I'll be doing going forward. And by that, I'm talking about what the next drop is, which is really exciting. The new drop. What I'm planning to do is, while I'm exploring things, make collections from them. And this time that constitutes a larger piece in the background, some kind of technique pieces, things that are just me developing my technique. Also things that I'm looking to put on the Etsy shop, so smaller elements of the same collection with a similar theme. So all of the exploratory work and all of the research has some sort of purpose or provides some sort of benefit pertaining to stability, or some sort of, just that it's sustainable, that it's not something that I have to make compromises with, because then what's the point? That's not what I'm doing here. This is something that I want to be sustainable. I want to be long-term. I want it to be a way that I live my life, rather than something that I do for a couple of years, get bored, and then naturally drift away from. Not this. When I think about it, it never has. Like the fashion designing Hannah at age 5, still doing it now. I'm making magnets and dressing so fly, so like fine shit. Like the outfit I was wearing today, when I tell you I felt so good, those little bitchy sunglasses, eat it up. Oh yeah, Etsy shop is a small business, so happy third stream of income, thanks bestie, because it takes fucking 3 to pay living costs at this point. Love that. Grateful for that, we'll say. And then I'm still writing things for Substack, putting explanations for larger pieces in Substack. I'm talking and using audio in places like this, focusing on engagement here and Instagram as well, because the best way to market small businesses is always going to be engagement. Any kind of social media, any marketing, you know, if you can't afford TV, radio, then what else? So that's where this is going. I'm going to keep making fun stuff and cool stuff because that's what I do. Do we think this is too small for a magnet? Right, let me just cover... Oh, my fingers are in the way. Let's just... Oh, a magnet just clicked to my watch. Uh-oh. At the moment, something that is interesting me and that I'm researching and that has influenced the collection is the Wheel of the Year, spring. Ostara is it Beltane or Beltane? I can't remember. But the change of the seasons. Also, Mother's Day, Easter. Themes that are coming up in my life. Birth, regrowth, rebirth, death, rebirth again. Also, just like florals, cute things, pastels. Getting some sort of serotonin back in me. Clouds, nature, this kind of solitude and development, which sounds so, but I'm relating to romantic ideals of reflection and bold aesthetics like this kind of poison flower, this cherry, but also neon, and this contrast and saturation, which I think is a product of a similar social concept like recession pop and creativity as a way of dealing with the crazy stuff that's going on at the moment, like Brat Summer and indie sleaze and this kind of rebellious hedonism. The lime green of Brat. Hey, everyone says Brat's dead, Brat's dead. Shut up. That bright neon, almost offset it all. It's like a rebellious call to disgust and distaste. Bright colours, carelessness, neon, hedonism, clubs, strobes, and LED neon signs and sleazy dark nights, and this escape from harsh reality. Which is that not what art is anyway? So the harsh reality of what are intrusive thoughts that I've got kind of used to having. Oh, there's a lot of reasons for that. Is it going to change? No, unfortunately. Been told that by far too many professionals. Going, well, sorry, you're kind of stuck with this, sis. Oh, sorry. Oh. What else are you to do? Find your own remedy to it. Which also links back to the piece. That is how I accelerate change. I pause, I reflect, I gather, I make sense of it within myself, and usually create as a way of expressing that. And for a while, it's got shoved under the table, it's got given someone as a present, or it's, you know, been donated to a charity shop when I move flat. The product of this creativity, like canvases and wall art, and even to a certain degree, like prints and cards and framed artwork. Now, it can align with the goal of making money from art, which will then provide security for the practice of creating as a tonic to the concept. This is a way of me providing stability and security for myself, in a way of making sure that this practice is something that remains important, remains something that I pay attention to, a cause that I am loyal to, like not wanting to film at the beginning of this video going, oh, I hate myself. Now look at me making fun of myself, like what, 40 minutes ago. This little rat tail is irritating me. Speaking of self-care, what time is it? I'm going to go and give myself like a little wash and twist, because this isn't cute, but this is how I show up. After a day of feeling cute, having my sunnies on, I got back, squeezed my spot, and my hair went a little bit crazy because I took it out of my little twist and decided to just... I am inspired to look after myself, to maintain what I have fought for. And I fought a lot for a lot, if we want to go back to Sweetie. And they all make part of this collection, this reflection of spring, these things that I've been thinking on, dwelling on, wanting to communicate outwards. These tokens of that are going to provide me security, or are going to maintain a relationship I have. Is that not the goal? Is that even a question? Like, we know that the answer is yes. I just have to swallow the... No, I need to maybe keep overthinking. Keep the second thought. Because I'm gonna need it. That second thought that says don't knock out that random person who's walking too slow in front of you. That comes up 7-8 times a day. Because I practice forming fists with acrylics. Just know that. I'm feeling a little bit like I need to pour into myself. Now I've worked on some things that are going to provide. I'm good to look after myself now. And the cat that is like screaming and running around everywhere. So thanks for that. I'm going to put in some pictures of me looking cute to combat me going, oh, I don't feel well. There we go. Balance, yin yang, it happens. Ups and downs, roller coasters, etc., etc. I'm going to go and have another glass of wine. Oh my god, imagine I get like a proper intro and outro. Maybe that my thing. I don't know. That is the thing that I always do in photo booths, so maybe I make that my thing. Oh my god, focus. Let's go. Oh my god, she's an influencer. She does the hand behind. This, oh, it's super dark because it was like a super vintagey thing, but that little kiss. Maybe that's what we do.